Welcome back, and I'm very excited. We've got a keynote speech now, and we've got George Kowalski, who is Vice President of Business Development at MyCare, and he'll present how the MyCare solution can help older adults remain independent at home. Now, George spearheads business development at MyCare, advocating for innovative AI-driven healthcare solutions that improve the quality of care for elderly patients, ultimately extending independence and enhancing their day-to-day lives. I'm really excited to hear this speech, and welcome, George. Thank you so much for giving up your time. I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you very much, Gail. It's lovely to be here, and thank you for having me on this particular conversation. It's something which is extremely important to me due to the fact that I lost my mum. So from my perspective, this is really, really important and something which is a topic I think everybody needs to be well aware of. I'm going to talk today about artificial intelligence, and I'm going to talk about how that needs to be assessed and used within a user's environment to keep that person not only independent at home, but also safe at home, because of course, accidents always happen. So what I want to tell you is basically that whatever you take on board with regards to a specific solution for keeping someone safe and independent at home, if that incorporates an artificial intelligence within it, it not only needs to look at ways of keeping that person safe and ways, for example, of keeping them independent and mobile at home, for example, but also, of course, optimizing the organization's workflow and, of course, providing a long-term value to not only the NHS, but also, of course, to local authorities. And that's the first thing that has to change. For this to work, you can't have silos anymore of social media and health. They need to work together. So, for example, when someone's in hospital, when an older adult is in hospital and they are being prepared to go home, there is inevitably a current delay where assessments are being created and looked at before the person goes home. This is where discharge to assess comes into play. And of course, MyCare, as well as other AI solutions, can assist in that area. But we have to make sure that the assessment of someone being looked after at home starts in the hospital environment. And that's where AI can come into fruition. And by adopting this solution, we can support adults who have the ability of, for example, looking after themselves to stop, for example, social isolation, mental health issues like depression, loneliness, and of course, God forbid, suicide. And from there, areas such as high frailty, fall risk, for example, and of course, urinary tract infections, respiratory tract infections like COVID, for example, and of course, diabetes, and now more than ever, neurodegenerative conditions as well. So, how do we do this? What should you, as an organization, be looking for? So we are looking for example, the why, what, and how. And with regards to that, it's all about maintaining that better management of someone's chronic condition in their own home environment to keep them there and keep them out of a hospital environment. And what do we do? What should we do? We should give them access to personalized health coaching, which allows nudges of particular behavioral changes and also ways of looking at themselves better. But they will not be able to do that if the information is not available. We provide, and obviously the best AI solutions, which we count ourselves as one of, provide a Gen AI driven digital health coaching solution. This is where, for example, through conversational interaction with an AI, and we're not talking robotics here, we're talking an artificial intelligence which talks back with the user for up to 30 minutes on conversations. And that gives them behavioral changes, tells them what to do, how to do it, gives them assistance and advice, looks at what they need to do to extend their homestay for as long as possible, and of course, inevitably, their life for as long as possible. So what we need to look at, and what all organizations need to look at when adopting a solution, whether it's AI or whether it's other particular solutions, is what does that solution offer? I have assessed many organizations and solutions across the board in the market area over the last 5 years. And there are so many solutions, or if you like, providers that offer part of a solution and not the entire solution to actually assist that end user. MyCare themselves look at the ability of capturing 70 plus health indicators, of which 35 biomarkers are used. We have, for example, voice biomarkers, speech biomarkers, interaction biomarkers with regards to lung health and also throat health, for example. We also count probability markers to assist with COPD, pulmonary fibrosis, and of course, in everybody's back of everybody's minds currently, of course, COVID, which is always going to be there, I think. And through detection, AI must identify markers early with regards to things like onset dementia, diabetes, through specifics like delirium and slurring of words, and changes, for example, to the larynx with regards to voice interaction. It's not good enough any longer to simply say, oh, wear a ring or wear a watch and let's track your sleep and let's track your steps. Or let's use some medical devices and send the information back to a particular system. It is not good enough to have just those areas, those silos of a solution any longer. We now need to have a full-blown solution to not only offer assistance, but also provide information and insights back to the users and also to their carers and their health network. And how can that be assessed and looked at? Well, the benefits speak for themselves. Everything from reduction in loneliness and isolation at home, right through supporting people waiting for an operation on their elective waiting list. We can and we should look at AI assisting with prevention of urinary tract infection and respiratory tract infection related falls. That will reduce readmissions if nothing else. We should look at predictive cognitive decline with regards to our users. We should look at the ability to streamline, for example, the assessment process, which will improve care coordination. We should also look at, as I mentioned before, the ability of moving patients safely and quickly out of the hospital environment into their own home environment. And by doing so, reducing the care package prescribing levels, the costs that are associated with them. MyCare alone, through its own AI solution, has reduced readmissions and also unnecessary bed stays in hospitals by 77%. And that speaks volumes when, for example, you have users crying out to be at home and not be in a hospital bed. So, how is this performed? How can any individual solution give you what you need to look at? Any organization needs to say, if we take on a solution, what does it offer? It must offer the entire solution. It must offer a digital health coach with regards to a voice assistant, which gives you not only personalized digital health therapies, but also things like, for example, assistance, guidance, exercise, music, nutrition, therapeutics. It then needs to look at taking all these billions of data points and saying, these are my findings and these are the insights I can offer. And that can be done by using the best algorithms on the earth at this moment in time. We spent 3 years on that alone before we even entered into the market. And on here, as you can see, we empower through these insights users to manage their chronic conditions autonomously, as you can see here. Also, in addition, The health navigator, the information, the actual dashboard, the handheld device of information needs to provide the end user with making the ability of actually providing individual assessments and decisions for the best use of that particular user in their own environment. So you need to be able to have information quickly and efficiently at your fingertips. And this will prevent hospitalization, result in cost savings, and risk management and preventative care will be a thing that will be paramount in any organization's mind. And this can be achieved by using not only, for example, room sensors to do things like mobility, temperature, humidity, light pollution, sound pollution during the night, but also, for example, plug sensors for the use of televisions, kettles, for example, for a cup of tea. Also, for example, door sensors, not only for front and back doors for people with onset dementia, but also for the use of microwaves, fridges, cupboards, for example. We then have, for example, Dosset boxes for use with regards to, for example, the use of medication. We then also have the use of, for example, carer tokens with regards to carer analysis and assessment. And the use of wearables like, for example, watches, rings, and you add to that your medical devices such as your blood pressure monitors, your pulse oximeters, your digital thermometers, your scales for weight management, and your blood glucose monitor with regards to diabetes, you suddenly have everything providing information overload with regards to going into one particular area. And that's where these billions of data points every second of the day, every day of the week goes into the AI. And the AI within MyCare, within 7 days, knows your routine analysis inside out, how you sleep, how you eat, how you transition from room to room, how you walk from your bed to your bathroom, how you walk from your kitchen to your sofa. It also knows, for example, anomaly detection. It can detect any anomaly to your routine and prevent that from happening into a fall and give you insights on how to improve what you're currently doing. Add to that a companion, someone who speaks to you all the time if you wish, responds to all your questions, plays you music, does 5 minutes exercises with you following heart surgery, does meditation with you and even reads you the next chapter from your book and gives you insights and jokes during the day if you so wish. You have the ideal companion with that person at home when they are alone. And that's the thing that you have to keep in mind for mental health, that even though elderly people at home are having carer visits and their own family, inevitably, sooner or later, they end up saying, I'm really lonely, even though they see people 4 or 5 times for 15 minutes a day, potentially. That needs to be presented onto an environment which can be easily accessible by cohort of users or by individual users. And all the information that is being gathered by the entire solution needs to be in a place where it's easily accessible and obviously available to the end user, to the carers, to the nursing staff, and also, of course, to the actual family members as well. Add to that the ability of adding bespoke reports, dynamic bespoke reports, dealing with the pain points of the organization, such as, for example, mobility, sleep deprivation, falls prevention, and other specific areas. You can assess by cohort or by individual user exactly what is happening with that user every second of the day, every day of the week, and every week of the year. It's vital that that is available to each organization and, of course, to the users and family as well. To summarize, as you've heard, this is a massive area for me. I am so passionate about the MyCare solution, assisting older adults to stay independent and safe at home, to save lives. That's what we're here to do. The carer network is struggling. There's not enough carers. They are overstretched. This AI needs to be put into place to assist them to deal with that over impact of what's happening currently through lack of funding, if nothing else. So, what you need to look at when you look at an AI solution, whether it's MyCare or anybody else, is what does it do? How, as a solution, does it work? And then what does it give you as an end product? Well-being management, as a minimum, you need to have the ability of hydration, overheating, medication, and wellness. You then need to have the ability of not only through your medical devices, but also through your wearables like watches and rings that I've got on here, having that vitals management taken, your blood pressure, your blood oxygen saturation levels, your temperature, your weight, and so on. Understanding behavior, a big area that lots of systems currently lack. They go through and they take all this analysis, these systems, but then they do nothing with it and give you no feedback. What you need to do here is you need to go through and learn these behavior patterns and identify anomalies occurring well before a fall could even happen. Incident response, SOSs, from someone falling over and crying for help to someone waking up in the middle of the night saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. That's what we do. That's what our Monica solution always listens out for, not only through its voice acoustics, but its acoustic gait analysis as well. When someone walks from one area to the other, I can call for help, and within 10 seconds, your users, your family, everybody else can be called to say your mum, your dad, your granddad, your grandmother has had a fall or requires your assistance. They have said, I can't breathe, help me. And finally, of course, digital therapeutics. Everybody needs that assistant. Everybody needs that companion. Everyone likes listening to music, meditation, and so on. And that's where a solution has to give you what you need. And if you'd like to hear more about how the MyCare solution does all that and more, please do reach out to me at MyCare, and I'll be happy to go through with you in more detail. Thank you, Gail.
George, thank you so much. I'm literally just, I don't know whether I've got so many questions, and we've got so many questions in the chat as well. And if it's okay with you, if we pass them over, we have had a comment to see if your presentation can be shared. Now, I think you can. The presentation is available to everyone, so that is possible.
Yes.
And of course, exactly, if there's any more, sort of thoughts or questions, to contact you, George. Exactly, it's just fantastic. And I don't know, my jaw just keeps dropping every time you add another slide. You're like, and it does this, and it does this.
Yep.
Absolutely fascinating. And what I loved about it was your passion for it. And
Thank you.
please keep up the amazing work, because that's just, like you said, when you said that figure of 77%, that's just incredible, and that's what we need. So thank you for all your hard work and your innovative solutions at MyCare. So thank you very
Thank you,
much,
Gail.
George. We're going to go back to our panel discussions, and the next one will be at 11:40. So just a little short break, and our next panel discussion will be virtual wards and telemedicine. So we will see you then. Thank you.